And somehow...
Why does this kind of sound like a key smash?
Yeah.
Like, why does it kind of like 7171684 C?
A little bit.
Is he like that? Just did his cat walk across the typewriter when he wrote this?
Yeah. So from that series of C's that was on one of the notes, somehow he deciphered the code meant Army Security Agency. Don't ask me how he got that, because it doesn't explain.
Do you know what the code was?
It was just 8 consecutive C's in a row.
And he said that's the C's you're saying is the code that he thinks means this?
Yes.
Where the...
Don't know how he got that.
Miss Ma'am is really stretching that thin, but okay.
We love an overthinker.
Yeah.
Love an overthinker.
Literally.
So he's basically gone through these notes and taken specific words and rearranged the letters because he thinks that these notes are codes. So from the words wash post in one of D.B. Cooper's letters, he rearranged that to be top secret.
What? Wash post?
Yes.
What? There aren't even any E's in that. How did he find top secret? That's literally, he could not possibly have failed that anagram.
Apparently.
I didn't even think about that.
There's no wash post, but top secret doesn't have a W.
True.
Or an A.
Yeah.
What? Every time I'm like, I think this guy, I'm like, whoa, pretty mysterious. He managed to get away with hijacking a plane, but he's so dense, man. Oh my God.
Also, just the fact that the stewardess wrote the second note for him. He told her what he wanted and she wrote it down.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know, maybe she didn't use his exact words, maybe she was scared and she was, like, abbreviating, maybe she couldn't write that fast, you know what I mean? So, it's just, the first note, take the first note because he wrote it and it's genuine to him, but, like, second note, we can't be too, like, that's exactly what he said.
So then there's another line that says, quote, and please tell the lackey cops D.B. Cooper is not my real name. So Sherwood took that, coded the message, and came out with, I am First Lieutenant Robert Rackstraw.
Okay.
Wait, that also doesn't make sense.
So here's, just to get on that, so basically at least 6 letters typed handwritten and made using ransom-style cutout letters were sent to several newspapers after the hijacking, all claiming to be from Cooper.
I don't think our guy, Rick Sherwood, is very good at word games. Maybe he could try mahjong or something. He's not very good at anagrams. He's just really not. Like, the first message, right? D.B. Cooper is not my real name. D.B. Cooper, 1 R, not my real 1 R name. So those are the 2 R's that should be in that anagram, right? But
I am First Lieutenant Robert Rackstraw.
First Lieutenant Robert Rackshaw. There's 3 R's and only 2 in the other one. That's just another discrepancy in that, like, I don't think this guy's very good at anagrams, you know?
I have the full letter pulled up if we want to read that.
Oh yeah.
Yes, let's do it.
He addresses Sirs. I knew from the start that I wouldn't be caught. I didn't rob Northwest Orient because I thought it would be romantic, heroic, or any of the other euphemisms, I believe that says, that gear to attach themselves to situations of high risk. I am no modern-day Robin Hood. Unfortunately, do have only 14 months to live. He spelt my wrong, so he spelt it with a K, K-Y. Life has been one of hate.
Oh, this Sherwood guy and D.B. Cooper both need to go back to fucking kindergarten.
We should have known from the clip on time. Anyways. My Kai life has been one of hate, turmoil, hunger, and sore hate. This seemed to be the fastest and most profitable way to gain a few fast grains of peace of mind. I don't blame people for hating me for what I've done, nor do I blame nobody for wanting me to be caught and punished, though I think can never happen. But he spelled think wrong. He spelled though then can never happen. Okay. Here are some
That's really weird.
Underlined, not all in brackets, of the things working against the authorities. I'm not a boasting man. I left no fingerprints. I wore a toupee. I wore putty makeup. They could never add or subtract from the complete 100 times and not open up with an accurate description, and we both know it. That looks like case. I've case and gone on several. That has to mean, he has to mean come. Because that looks like.
Even still, is that A?
It looks like an A.
It would be come and gone.
Yeah.
I've come and gone. In this case, this makes me think that either this guy is probably not literate.
No.
Frankly, not to like be shady or whatever, like he literally probably does not know how to read and write. And honestly, especially like his first language probably isn't English.
I've case and gone.
It's one thing to spell it wrong, right? He meant to type I've came and gone, I guess, but that's not like proper grammar, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, back in the day, some people like didn't necessarily go to school either, so they never learned how to read and write.
Yeah.
Which could have been a possibility as well.
And here's the thing, the toupee bit is what interests me because I've seen like the sketches, and based on the sketches at least, his hairline looks like it's receding.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're gonna get a toupee, at least get like a full head of hair toupee. Like don't get a receding one. So I don't know if that's a lie or he got a cheap toupee. I don't know, but
I mean, JCPenney toupee.
Bougie on a budget.
So it then goes on to say, I've case and gone on several airline flights. Sorry, it's just cut off halfway. So already, and I'm not HOLOD. Hauled up in some obscure backwoods town.
Held up. I'm not holed up. I'm not held up.
Neither am I a psychopathic killer. Okay, so as a matter, but he capitalized the A in matter. As a matter of fact, I've never even received a speeding ticket. Thank you for your attention, D.B. Cooper.
Okay.
So that's one of the letters, and like Jess said, there was a string.
Was this letter typed or handwritten? So he could have, like, I don't know if you all have ever seen those, like, oh, what am I thinking of? Series of Unfortunate Events, right? The aunt from like the pier who is a stickler for spelling and grammar, and then she leaves a note behind for the kids. And she's like, I've run away with so and so, like don't look for me, blah blah, but it's full of spelling mistakes. I'm like, what the hell, this is impossible. She's such a stickler for grammar, this is not it at all. And then all the discrepancies, all the things that are spelt wrong, like, and if you like decode it in such a way, it leaves a message. I don't know if anyone's tried to do that with this message.
Maybe, Jess might have some more stuff on that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that, actually.
To any listeners out there, if you're looking for a fun Saturday night and you want to break a code, go ahead, have a great time with the D.B. Cooper ransom letter.
Literally.
I don't know.
But, yeah, the Bros investigation found, like, random strings of numbers and letters at the bottom of the page, and they didn't really know what to make of that. And then, in December 15th of 1971... they wrote one of the sequences, the significant of the number 71717634, appearing next to the copy count lower left corner. The faces of the letter remains unknown, but then good old Ricky Rick popped up and was like, hey, let me give you some messed up anagrams and number correlation.
Miss Ma'am really said, I'm not good at anagrams, but let me take a stab at it. Like, power to him for trying.
They served in the Army's security agency. It's the military's elite signals intelligence outfit during the Vietnam War. He describes the training as the equivalent of 2 years of college in 16 weeks.
What kind of training was it? Like, was it code-breaking training? Because that...
Most likely.
I don't know.
So maybe he got a point with some of these things. I don't know. I won't bash a trained professional, but like I might bash a trained professional.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, here's the thing. I'm not trying to bash a trained professional, exactly. It's just, like, the one that Jess told us from before, they don't make sense. There's missing letters, there's added letters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do think it would be a fun activity to go all series of unfortunate events on this shit and be like, okay, the spelling mistakes, do they highlight a message or something? I don't know. It could be cool.
All right. Well, on that note, I'll hop into some of the quote-unquote suspects. So the first one here that I have, his name is Jack Caufelt. He was the first person who actually claimed to be D.B. Cooper in 1972. He was a con man with a long criminal history. And Caufelt was confirmed to have suffered injuries around the time of the hijacking. But however, the FBI found so many inconsistencies in his story that they basically eliminated him. He wasn't anywhere near that area, you know?
I also just wonder, like, that already raises red flags because you're coming out about you being D.B. Cooper in 1972. This happened in 1971 in November. So nearly...
Literally, not even 2 months, like as little as 2 months later.
I just don't understand why you, when you know the investigation is very much open and ongoing, and this is a massive case, this is a world-renowned case, so I get if he's a con man, he wants to take the credit for that, but...
Yeah, I've always found that interesting that, like, criminals are like, that
like
was...
a badge
Well,
of
and
honor.
I think that's literally all this guy was, because it went on to say that basically the FBI clearing him didn't stop him from trying to peddle his own story to major TV networks. So it was really all about getting the notoriety for it.
Yeah. Because that to me just wouldn't make sense.
Like, if I wanted notoriety, I'd go around pretending I'm Meryl Streep. Like, I wouldn't go around pretending I hijacked a plane.
Well, I mean, at least if you're going to do it, wait a few years. Like, wait until you know the investigation's dying down. Wait till you know, like, everything's, like, kind of, like, on the low. And you'd be like, oh, by the way.
Yep.
It's me.
That was me.
It's Brittany, bitch.
The second guy, his name is Kenneth Christensen.
Kenneth.
And he had been a paratrooper and then a mechanic and a flight attendant for Northwest Orient Airlines. The airline basically Cooper targeted. He also resembled the composite sketch of the hijacker. A few months after the hijacking, he supposedly purchased a house in cash, which they found a little sus, but
That's
it's pushing
very
it.
weird. Okay, yeah. So then I don't know how much houses cost in 1972.
Do we also...
But I still think it's a little sus to, like, pay for a house in cash.
If the serial numbers of the bills, of all the bills were taken down?
Oh, that's a good question.
The ones that they gave were... they knew which ones were taken. That's how they were able to match it up to the ones that the kids found in the water.
So then, if that's the case, and he bought this house in cash...
Why didn't they just run it?
Why do we... If he bought it in cash, he would... Obviously, when you go to, like, deposit or something, there would be something coming up, like, hey, these are stolen bills. This is stolen money.
Yeah.
So that already kind of puts a sour taste in my mouth.
Well, the money might not be tainted, though. Like, the money might not be, like, dirty money because,
But if
like,
it was taken and they have the
like,
serial numbers for it, they would be on the look for someone trying to cash in that money. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm thinking.
So there would be, like, an alert, kind of, if the money was trying to be cashed or deposited somewhere, and they're like, hey.
This was also 72. They didn't have that kind of, like, nationwide alert of, like, if this bill gets used with this serial number, call the cops. They were probably just like, it's a little sus that you're paying for this house in cash, but, like, chill, sure, as long as I get my money for this house.
My mom's friend bought her house in cash.
I still think that if they were...
like, full cash.
Well, it turns out anyways, though, that he lied to his brother about paying for the house in cash.
Oh.
So there goes that.
What kind of a weird flex is that?
That puts me back on this guy. If he's lying about paying for a house in cash, he's definitely the type to wear a clip-on black JCPenney tie.
Well, in 2003, this guy's brother saw the documentary on the Cooper case, and he actually became convinced that it was his brother Kenneth, who actually died in 1994.
Sibling rivalry.
But he was convinced that he was D.B. Cooper. But the FBI didn't see enough evidence to investigate Kenneth, so his brother actually tried to get his brother, like, into a film as a suspect, but the film never happened.
I kind of gotta agree with that, in that, like, if he used this cash for anything, they probably would have run whatever cash he's used. We know that one of the limited pieces of evidence we have is the money. So why not use it? Like, why not check it? You know, someone found this suspicious somewhere. The FBI, being as good at their job as we think they are, as we know them to be, would likely go in and be like, oh, this person was very suspicious with cash. There was somebody else that we have been looking for that's also been acting really suspicious with some cash, you know? So run them, compare them, be like, oh no, this is not our guy or whatever, which seems like pretty strong evidence to me. Also, the fact he had training as a flight attendant, I don't know. I feel like he would have known not to jump out of the airplane. Like, he would have known what to do, what not to do.
I mean, not necessarily. Flight attendants don't really get trained on, hey, this is how you jump out of a plane. But
no, but that's the thing. But you are trained in emergency exits.